Well, hey there, Danville, San Ramon. My name's Lisa Peck, and my office is in Danville, California, and this is your July 2022 market report for June 2022. Look, I have no crystal ball, and I definitely can't predict the future, but I can share with you a few key data points for the real estate market for the East Bay. So I'm going to focus today on national news, as well as 4 key data points that are really important for Danville and San Ramon, California, to help give you the edge, to help you make better decisions for yourself and your family. So what was really interesting to me today that I'm going to share with you is what's going on with inventory and absorption in San Ramon. But before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about where we're at nationally. So if you believe that a recession is defined by 2 quarters of negative GDP, well, July 1st, the Atlanta Fed announced the second negative quarter in a row for GDP. So, how does this impact us in the real estate market right here at home in the East Bay? Well, if you were with me last month in June, we discussed a little bit about declining stock market, the fear of this recession, soaring inflation, and high interest rates. Now, the impact of that is starting to play out in today's numbers. So, we're now only a few months into this change or correction, but the first wave we saw was a decrease in buyer demand. There were fewer showings, fewer offers, and fewer homes under contract, which then led to the next stage of more supply and therefore price reductions. The next step, and actually where we're at today, is altering the buyer and seller psychology. Now, the balance of power between them is very interesting, and we're in the middle of that. After the most dramatic uptick in history, it's typically uneven for the first few months, and that's exactly where we're at right now. So with that being said, what really caught my attention, I mentioned before in June, was inventory and absorption for San Ramon. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But before, let's dive into some of the numbers for Danville. So Danville Inventory in June 2022, we saw 94 homes for sale. This was up 4.5% from last month and 129% from a year ago. So the median days on market for June was 10 days. Not that bad. It was up from 7 days in May and 6 days from a year ago. Absorption in months of inventory is really the true indicator of trailing demand. This was about 1.4 months for June. This was up a whopping 274% from a year ago. Now, pending homes, which is really the most current indicator of the psychology of both buyers and sellers in the current market. Right now, today, June of 2022, we had 54 pending homes in Danville. This is down 20% from a month ago and 48% from a year ago. Okay, so for San Ramon, inventory in June 2022 was 104 homes. This was up from 62 the month before and up from 22 a year ago. Can you believe it? Almost 5 times more homes. Now the median days on market is up to 13 days. Again, just not a big deal because we have such short market times. The months of inventory, which really, again, tells us the psychology of buyers and sellers, was up a whopping 2.5 months for San Ramon, from 0.8 months in May and 0.2 months in June. That's almost a 1,000% increase in a year. This tells me that buyers and sellers are really not wanting to come together to make a deal. This is either due to overpricing or underbidding. I've seen a bit of both. Now, pending home sales in San Ramon is 44. There's 44 homes that are pending. This is down 20% from last month and 55% from last year. Now, remember, a correction is not a crash, and our housing market still really boils down to supply and demand. Our market is still really strong, and it's still very much of a seller's market. Unlike 2008, mortgage payments are, as a percentage of income, at all-time lows, with some of the historic lowest mortgage rates ever. So keep in mind, market corrections for the last 4 decades, except for 2008, have resulted in either flattening of appreciation or a mere 5 to 10% of appreciation, which still really isn't that bad. It just seems relatively small compared to the 15 to 30% appreciation that we've seen over the last few years. So what's in it for the future? Now, as of July 7th, interest rates have already fallen about 0.5 point in the last 2 weeks. That's pretty good. You should know that over the past 5 recessions, we've actually seen interest rates fall about an average of 1.8 percentage points from the peak to the trough. So if you want my advice, buyers, buy now, don't wait. The economists are saying that when we look back at 2022 in the rearview mirror, the prices will not be dramatically different, but they will be lower in 2022 than in 2023. So coming off of some of the highest appreciation in Q1, we are seeing the prices fizzle and come down, but they're coming down slowly and not dramatically. We won't really know the bottom until the bottom's behind us. Sellers, this isn't the time to test your price on the market or to take your real estate professional's advice as optional. If you want to sell for the best price, price it right for the neighborhood you're in. There's going to be fewer homes selling, so if only a few homes are going to sell in your area, do you want to be one of them right now, or do you want to wait and see what next month's prices are? It's too early really to make any predictions, so you're going to want to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can see how this all unravels with me. I promise to keep you updated. In the meantime, if you want to know more information about your neighborhood specifically, just reach out to me and I'm happy to get you the statistics. It's 925-854-4799.